what's up guys? It's Curtis here at EMS 2026. I am now with none other than Craig here at Innovative Environments, and we're getting ready to learn a little bit more, not just about design, but a little software. We're gonna see what's gonna happen. Let's go. So Craig, when a brand comes to you guys to transform their physical space, like their office, their booth, what is one of the first mistakes they make?
So one of the first mistakes that I frequently see is that they are focused on details of the design. And the design is important, but understanding the objectives is more important and has to come first. So if you say that I'm focused on, oh, I need this big something, I want this big LED screen, I want this poster here, I want this graph here, we're gonna ask, why? What is it you're trying to accomplish? And that's definitely the first mistake and a frequent mistake that we often see.
I love that. And a follow-up, how do you all help shift their perspective? You said why, and then like how do you shift that perspective from this is what I need to this is what we should have?
Oh, it's a question of doing what we call discovery. And discovery is such an important part of making sure that the end result is what you wanted in the first place. So if you're saying, do I need a 5x8 LED screen or should I have a 6x10? I'm going to say why. I'm going to say, what is it you're trying to accomplish with the screen? And it may very well be that your budget would be better spent over here because you really don't need a big screen if you're only going to be putting some charts on it. And so that's a common issue. The best design consultants in the industry are the best at discovery. What is it the client's trying to achieve so that then we can craft a solution rather than being focused on a particular physical aspect.
Craig, you guys recently rolled out a new product, Exhibit Power, and it's rare for a physical design company and fabrication house to actually build its own proprietary intelligence platform. So what gap did you see in the market that forced you guys to actually build this platform?
Well, it's a really great question. That gap goes back 20 years. So when I first bought what was the genesis of this company, it was obvious that without some good software, we were going to have a really hard time managing many clients with many assets that were moving around. The trade show business is extremely complex. Everything we do, even for a very small exhibit, passes through the hands of as many as 7 different departments because you're dealing with manufacturing, you're dealing with rental inventory, you're dealing with warehouse, you're dealing with staging, you're dealing with freight, you're dealing with show services, you're dealing with show contractors, and all of that has to be has to operate together like an orchestra being directed by a brilliant conductor. You can't do that without software. So we started building software back, and our first release of Exhibit Power was in 2007, and it only managed a portion of our business called asset management, where we could inventory our clients' inventory and keep track of what shows they were at, so that we weren't overbooking, for example. Then we decided we could do more. And in 2012, we released Exhibit Power version 2, which handled our work orders. So you're creating an art work order, service work order, you're communicating with other departments in the company and trying to keep everything on track. As we grew, we needed more operations systems rather than chaos. So it continued, we built more and more and more. And a few years ago, my team said, we're still using another CRM. And when I first conceived of Exhibit Power years ago, I was like, we're not going to do CRM, we're not going to do quoting, we're not going to do accounting, because there's lots of programs that do all of that very well. But my team said, but it's not integrated with everything else. So then we built CRM. And they wanted estimating. So then we built estimating. And then, like, why don't we link it all to accounting? So then we linked it all to accounting. So then they wanted a HubSpot equivalent. They wanted to do automated marketing. So we built automated marketing and integrated it. And that came from lead capture. We decided in January that we were going to go to the Exhibitor Live show and to this show, and we needed lead capture. So we started talking about how we could do lead capture. in the most modern way possible.
Yep.
And we had this idea that we could record our conversation with you, send it to AI, have AI interpret it, send it back to us, and organize in capturing everything that we wanted to capture from our conversation.
So saving time.
So we built all of that. And in the last year to 18 months, we've been able to accelerate the process dramatically. Whereas in the past, I was designing screens, and I was always designing screens that my team could use, and everything about Exhibit Power has been built based on input from the users. I'm not a software guy designing something software and then trying to tell the users how to use it. No, we've been building it based on what our users have been telling us they want. Well, a year and a half ago, plus or minus, we started using Claude, and that revolutionized our ability. So in the last about less than a year, we've launched 20 new modules, entire modules in Exhibit Power, because we've been able to accelerate the development process by a factor of 10 or more.
So beyond the software, your clients rave about the turnkey side of things. You don't just design, you build, you ship, you install, you dismantle, and store the assets. Why was it vital for innovative environments to control the entire life cycle under like one roof? Why is it important for you guys to control everything?
It's an absolutely critical part of producing a successful show. There's so many aspects that go into creating a show. It starts with the discovery. It goes through design, it goes through manufacture, it goes through staging. We stage every single exhibit in our shop completely, including plugging the lights in and making sure it works before we take it down and ship it. And then you're putting it on a truck. We track the freight. Then it arrives at the show, and you have an install crew that has to put it together. If all of that is not intricately coordinated, there are so many failure points that it's insane. So the turnkey process is the only way to ensure that 99.96% of the time, everything's right at the trade show.
No, I love that. And I have been in too many trade shows or events where I've gotten something shipped, they haven't put it together, they haven't staged it. I get out and I'm very savvy and I put it together, and then come to find out that the pieces don't fully align and they're off by a half of inch. And that half inch is a big deal. And so that's something where as you all are looking at that, I think that's really cool how you have the full turnkey, but not just turnkey of all the different parts, but the software to support it. I want to thank you so much for letting us hang out here with you at EMS 2026 and get to learn more about innovative environments.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.